Yeah, the 6-game winning streak snapped under the gloomy skies and howling conditions at Blundstone Arena, and West Coast squandering a great chance to consolidate second on the AFL ladder and letting a lead slip in the third quarter, and never really got it back. Welcome to Eagle Review. Benny Roberts joins me yet again. It was a weird day, playing at a very unusual ground with conditions that don't normally suit the style of AFL football.
Yeah, no, it was a tough day at the office for both teams. The conditions were brutal. The wind, we haven't seen wind like that for a long time. Momentum swings back and forth. Unfortunately, the Eagles went in front at the end of the day, but you're not going to win them all, so it's not the end of the world.
Never seen goalposts shaking, uncontrollably before.
Yeah, haven't seen that, and balls going backwards after you kick them forwards. You don't usually see that either.
Was very odd, and I thought West Coast really had the momentum, and it seemed like they were going to carry that into the fourth quarter, kicking with that breeze, especially when JK and Hearn put their goals through, but unfortunately couldn't really go on with it.
Yeah, no, it's difficult. Sometimes maybe it's mental, you don't know, who knows. But North, backs against the wall, probably lost one they should have pinched last week. So really, season on the line for them. Come out firing in the last quarter, 4-1, I think it was in the end. So, too good.
Wellingham certainly stood up in the last quarter despite the result, and he's been quality since his move down back. Were you a fan of it?
Hasn't he just? I thought that was almost the best game he's played all year. He was almost bogged, I reckon, and a sensational goal late as well from 9,000 metres out. So well done, Sharrod.
Speaking of sensational goal, Liam Duggan stepped up for his first one, and he really is rising to the cream of what he can produce, especially showing faith in the Eagles selection squad.
He's ticked the final box, I think, for the Rising Star nomination selection committee.
Heard it here.
He's kicked a goal now. He's had a couple of set shots and shanked them both. We won't hold that against him. We can leave that behind us. He's now kicked the goal. The next time he gets a big bag of possessions and works really well like he did a couple of weeks ago against the Saints, I think nomination's coming your way, Liam.
Don't know how this is going to go. We might have our first dispute here on the show, you and I. We're talking about the new rule change, obviously, the ducking of the head and the impact it's having on games. You don't think it's making that much of a difference? Explain your terrible reasoning.
No, I think it is making a difference, but I don't think the interpretation is as big a change as what people think.
That's certainly not what you said off air, mate.
It's always been, if you duck your head into a tackle, it's not going to be high contact. And that's what I think they're doing now with the guys dropping at the knees and that sort of thing. So I don't think it's a huge change, but certainly players have started, the big change has been players have been leading with their head of late, which is not a good sign. So what they're going to do is change this rule and that'll stamp that out, hopefully.
You've backflipped on that massively. Let's go to the roast of the round. There are that many of them. The conditions really do bring out some of the worst in playing football. I'm going to kick it off. It had Ferrito with the double banger. How's this one? He's got in the way, but a friendly fire from his teammate, and he's gone to back it up. Why would you bother kicking it to yourself out of full back when you are still in the square when you kick it? Explain to me that.
He's got himself an AFL fantasy. It's quite clear, and he's looking for stats and numbers.
He would be a bargain buy for himself, so we'll buy that logic.
How about this one, mate? Now, we don't like to bash the umpires, Stephen.
No.
It's not what we're here to do, but
we wouldn't be on the air if we did, mate.
There are a couple of ones that you would call questionable on the weekend. How about this one? Shannon Hearn, our captain, and I was, this is funny, I was just about to say to someone I was watching it with, geez, he's reliable. And then
so you jinxed him,
I've jinxed him. This should have been holding the ball, but we're not going to hold him against that. How about Lecker, turning one around, a little cheeky devil here. Lecker, this is definitely not a mark.
Great lawyer, he's just convinced him he marked it, really.
Maybe a career post-football there in the courtroom. Higgins throwing his head back now.
Bit of whiplash from Higgins.
A bit of whiplash from not much contact, it must be said, but we won't give it to him. But how about this one? Now, this one will rile up the West Coast fans. How about little Brent Harvey here? Pritter, the most fairest and honest player in the world, gives away a free kick, holding the ball, I think it was, and Harvey just goes, whoop, flips it out the back, complains to the umpire falls for it, the old 3-card trick. Come with me, 50 metres.
Was not a great decision. The boundary umpires, you can't give them too much flack. Tough conditions, but this is one of the best centering balls from Lionel Messi into the goal square. Thank goodness they didn't let that play on. And JK's drop mark. We're never going to mention this one again.
Happens to the best of them.
But I don't know if he'll do that too many times. Scooter's shot on goal. Do you think the wind affected that at all?
Yeah, I reckon he was a little bit rusty.
I think he's hit the hot dog man square in the face, but we'll move on from that one there.
How about Jared Waite streaming into goal? Could have passed this off to Goldie or the ruckman or whoever, and goes, no, I'm going to career this one into the goal
I'm not giving it to a bloody ruckman in forward 50.
No, this is my time to get some airtime on Channel 7. Here he goes for the bounce, doesn't come up, tricks the foot out, misses it completely. Not his finest hour, and that's after after last week with the shot from 2 metres out that went across the face. So
he's having a good
had
run.
couple of weeks
but the roast of the round, we can't go past Razor Ray. Always loves getting involved in the action. He's come through. I think he's got a cruise set for the Bahamas. He's trying to look for a few weeks off, go straight to the tribunal. That has got to hurt, and it's interesting the way up, whether that happens from player to umpire, but umpire to player seems to be all fair in love and war.
If a player did that to an umpire, that is weeks, I reckon. You've got to be
in hospital?
In both. But that can't happen. And it's the third time this year that an umpire has actually hit a player, which I think it's just a little bit of awareness. I mean, it's just too close for comfort. How can you miss a bloke who's in front of you?
Yeah.
And imagine if that was a grand final and you knock out our best player mid-game. Like, changes the game. Can't happen. Lift.
Benny Roberts, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us in the review. We'll see you next week.